name is Hobson, McKown. I'm currently a resident of Ferguson Township. And I come again here to speak to you in regard to the right to know law, what's going on with that, and how sometimes, for some reason, violence comes from it, and it should not. It just so happens that a right to know request turned up a video recently of someone grabbing my tie while the supervisors were in executive session. This is a meeting several months ago. And so it would otherwise be easy for me to tell a story that no one would believe, except for the fact there were people there who saw it, and now there's video. Sometimes the right to know law can be important to expose things, to explain why it's there in the first place. And this was part of a series of incidents that started with my public comment regarding the town hall meeting. Following that, I was accosted by someone who, at the time, I did not know who that was, but I came to find out it was a township resident, Jim Smith. And he told me what I had to say was bullshit and so on. And for some reason, he was agitated and seemed like he might become belligerent. At some point, he advanced toward me, and this was half a room of people leaving. Some people might have seen it, but someone got in the way of that. So there, nothing happened. Fine. I just thought he was a citizen. Sometimes there's people getting flamed. We all get emotional sometimes. That's fine. But when I spoke about that incident at the next public meeting I attended here, as I was speaking, Jim Smith uttered that he didn't do what I said and identified himself as that person to the crowd. And then during the executive session, I asked him, did you not mean to assault me the last time I saw you? He said, no. And he wrung his fingers around my tie and said I would know that he meant to hit me. And my understanding of this was that he would choose the place and time if that were to occur. And this kind of intimidation, to me it just looked like a citizen with whatever interests he may have that are, I don't know what source they are, but then I come to find out that he's apparently a school board member. He's employed here to open and close the building. He just got elevated to some sort of emergency services position. And so then it starts to look like people who are involved with local government are in the business of virtue signaling to people and intimidating. I'm not going to stop doing what I do because of that intimidation, but I see what's going on. And I want to link that with something I experienced today filing right to know request with the county. I went to the sheriff's office today, filed some right to know requests. Brian Samsel deals with those, and he says they take up all this time, which is an exaggeration, but that's what he says. I spoke with him on some other matters as well. And in between those, I happened to be standing in the lobby, and there was a point where I overheard a phone call between him and an assistant district attorney where, for some reason, that they were talking about me. And I heard the attorney say, crazy like Hobson, McKown. And I thought, what serendipity for me to be there to hear that. And then later, after I talked to Samsel again, I overheard him in an agitated expression want to slam his head in, I didn't hear what, like a can or something, I didn't quite hear. All right, these are private moments behind closed doors, which is one thing, but if you pair these things together, painting somebody a certain way with emotions that may cause violence, the idea, what this boils into, is using slander and misrepresentation to make it easy to attack people who are trying to do their civic duty. And we all have to be vigilant for government to work. It does not work without the vigilance of citizens and their direct involvement with government. Otherwise, it devolves into organized criminality.
Mr. McKown, we typically do 5 minutes for public comments. Could you wrap it up in the next 30 seconds or so?
Sure.
Thank you.
I don't want people grabbing my tie and telling me that they're gonna choose the time and place of hitting me. If that happens, then we'll move this story forward and maybe figure some things out, but it's obnoxious to me. It shouldn't be happening, and your officials should not be involved in this kind of intimidation, because we need people to be civic, we need people to volunteer and be part of government, not be intimidated from it. And if that's allowed to continue and more people to do it, you appear to become a Pennsylvania criminal organization, which can be investigated criminally and civilly under state law. Thank you very much.
Emergency Management Coordinator?
Yeah, I have nothing to report, except when we talked out in the hall, I did not grab your tie, I touched your tie. We shook hands, and I said there was no problem. Do you remember that part? It's on film.
Sir, public
Address
comments- public comments,
supervisors.
prevented.
And, well, I think I ought to be able to announce that, because he accused me of accosting him.
Well, there's a time and place, and we can address it after.
Okay, for emergency management coordinator, there hasn't been really anything, there hasn't been any flooding, no severe storms.